What, baby? What? Got everybody follow me out here. And they were all over underneath my feet. Finally got them to go over there for a minute. And Frank and his girls are now hanging out in this kennel instead of the big one, which is fine. I'm not even using this kennel for anything right now. And I'd rather them go in that one instead of that one. They've been staying in that one. But what I'm going to do is clean this one out tomorrow on my day off, get it all raked out, take the food and water, take everything out of there, and leave that shut so nobody goes in it. Because what I'm going to do is, when the chicks get a little bit older, in about another week or so, I'm going to bring the chicks out here and finish raising them in here, which gives them plenty more room, and this is where I will rehome them from. The chicks that I'm raising now, I'm not keeping. Normally, what my routine is on chicks that I raise that I'm going to keep, they start off in the chick shed, and then they move over to here, and then when they get just about old enough to put with the big girls, I transfer them to the kennel inside the run and leave them in there for a while, just so that they can figure out that this is no longer their bedroom. Inside the chicken run is their bedroom. Because by the time they're out here and the other chickens come around here, they're already used to them. It's just getting them acclimated to not keep coming out here to sleep at night. So I think with Frank and his girls, there was only 2 or 3 nights in a row I had to take them out of here at night. And after that, they stayed in the chicken run by themselves. So I didn't have to chase them or pick them up and take them in there. Huh, Frank? You are not leaving your girls, are you? No, you're not. You're not leaving your girls. I'm surprised they're even out today, because normally they stay in the run in the corner and don't want to come out. So, I mean, each week that goes by, they make a big difference. So now they're actually coming out of the chicken run door by themselves and coming out here. So that's progress. Every week something's different. And pretty soon, just like the young adults, on their own, every single night now, they sleep up with the big girls in the chicken coop with no help from me. Because everybody eventually wants to be in with the big girls. And these ones will probably do the same thing. That's just my experience from raising them from chicks. They usually always act like this. And then eventually, they'll start coming outside on their own. And then they'll start, going inside the coop at night on the perches on their own. And in the, laying eggs in the boxes. I've found 2 eggs so far on the ground, which may or may not be theirs, or was the Australorps, which got rehomed Sunday. This is Tuesday. So the Australorps I did rehome. I'm just trying to keep my permanent flock to a certain count and not let that chicken mouth get away from me like it used to way back. So everyone's doing good out here. So that's my chore for tomorrow. And of course, everyday stuff, cleaning the coop out and all that stuff. But okay. Oh, we got a big girl in there with them. She's one of the more friendly ones. She won't bother them as long as they're just sitting there. Yep, they're getting bigger and getting braver. They're doing good. And I'm still waiting to get this done in here. On my vinyl, I went to unroll it to cut it. I had the vinyl delivered. They cut it by square feet instead of 20 feet long. So they have to come and get what they did wrong and fix it. And I've done made 2 phone calls. I have to make my 3rd phone call tomorrow, because Home Depot's just not calling me back. And then I do have girls. I gotta look in here tonight, because somebody's sleeping up on the high perches right there, because you could always tell because there was a little poo-poo down there. So now I'm trying to keep my shavings. I took the shavings all off my flooring so I can get ready for the vinyl, and been waiting for, this person's supposed to be doing work here that I haven't seen in 3 weeks. didn't show up, and I don't feel like putting the shavings down on the whole thing and then having to clean all that up. So I'm only putting shavings with a poo-poo. And he's supposed to be back this week, supposed to be, to get my window put in, so it's not so stuffy and dark in here. And then the vinyl I could put in myself if they just get the right size delivered. So that's all I'm waiting on to finish the flooring and finish the remodeling in here. Got a couple more odds and ends to do, and then I'll be done. What? What? I see you. Goodness. Well, give me a sack on my hip and just put you in it, okay? What? Come on. Let's go outside. Come on. Come on out here. Get out of that stuff. I gotta clean that up too. So, anyways, that's where I'm at right now. Just trying to get things cleaned up, rearranged. My next batch of new chicks will be here in middle of October. So, I'm gonna go from there, and then they'll be ready to rehome in December or January. I may rehome them a little sooner. I don't want to put under 5 months old, or under probably up to 3 months old. But as long as they don't get too cold. I mean, in the wintertime, we do get below freezing. So, the wintertime, I have to rearrange things differently. But right now, I've got my different levels of where they go at what age. You girls like it in there? This door's going to get shut tomorrow. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Are you girls laying eggs yet? I did find a soft eggshell underneath the perches inside the coop. And they're getting plenty of calcium. Every now and then that'll happen, as long as it doesn't happen, consistently. I've had soft eggshell eggs before, but it's usually just one every great while. But I've been giving them extra mealworms and oyster shells and just different things. So I know they're good on calcium. And I have a bee bothering me. Okay, I'm going in. You girls behave. Did your sand dry out enough for you to play in it, huh? Did it? I'm going to have to rake some of that. I usually take a rake and push some of it back in there. And make sure the poo-poo's out of there. I think there's some right by her tail there, but I'll just leave it there, because that'll make her go somewhere else. What are you girls doing in here? But yeah, that's the kennel that, and when I keep the chicks that I raise, and then they end up going to the big kennel outside in the chicken yard, and then their final stage is in here, so they can learn that in here is their bedroom and kitchen. And I did pooper scoop today, but you cannot tell it. I'm trying to keep my chickens down to a minimum. Well, you're keeping it kind of so clean. And I threw some scratch and some oyster shells down for them. What? And I have one big girl I gotta keep an eye on, because she'll sneak up behind me when I'm doing stuff if I'm not paying attention. Yeah, this is the one. Watch her. Don't. I am petting you. She wants me to pick her up. She will peck the back of my jeans or whatever. And then I turn around, I pick her up and pet her, and then she leaves me alone. I picked you girls up one too many times when you was babies. Yeah, you girls will be moving outside soon. Here's my cockerel. And I thought that was an Americana, but that's an Easter egger, and that's a cockerel. When you're looking at it. So I did rehome a few of these Sunday because this was getting a little bit crowded, and I'll be rehoming them anyways. It's just, you don't make that much of a profit until they get older, you know. So I try to keep them till they're like 3 or 4 months old before I rehome them. Get them as close to just about ready to lay eggs as I can. Because when you got to sell them when they're young like this, and being I had to buy the chicks to begin with, I mean, I'm only making like $1 or $2 a chick, so it's not worth it, but I had to sacrifice some to make sure I had a little extra room for these girls in this size of brooder. Huh. I mean, it looks like there's plenty of room there, but if you think about it, it's not a whole lot of room for them to run around in altogether. But they're all crowded up over here right now. That's what your sandbox over on the other side is for. What are you digging inside the shavings for? Huh? And I've got him up for rehoming, but no, it's hard to get rid of them cockerels, let me tell you. I just don't need that many. I mean, if I can't rehome them, I might try them with the girls. It just depends. I just don't have the right number of hens right now for 2 roosters. I mean, I'm like iffy. It's kind of borderline. Huh, yeah. Which I would still end up. I probably would still end up with brown eggs, but with the Rhode Island Reds and him. But I'm just trying to keep everything kind of the same. So, yep. We'll get this all cleaned out again tomorrow. The weekend. Tomorrow's just a quick cleanup. Brush the stuff out while they're still in there. Put them back, put shavings in. You know, take the petition out and let them play. And then once a week, when they're outside daily, you know, there's some days I don't take them outside depending on the weather, if it's going to rain or not. And then sometimes it's going to rain and then it don't. You know, it's one of those things. And then the weekends I try to do a more thorough clean, and I take all their stuff down and the perches, and I pressure wash all that stuff off real good. What are you girls? What are you? Oh. Okay. So I'm going to let them go. They got feed and they got water for this evening. They're good. I'll be back out and check on them later. You girls need to, you know, I probably need to put that sandbox with them outside on the grass. Maybe they'll catch on more.